ladies and gentlemen, it's Kevin Jackwitz here with the Caged Review, and I am going to review WrestleMania 34. Pretty damn good show, I have to say. I was really worried about it. There were some things that I thought were going to be kind of terrible. I was dead wrong. They did a great job throughout this show. And actually, after watching NXT TakeOver, I'm like, there's no way in hell they're going to beat this. But they kind of did, actually. So, there's a lot to get into. I'm going to go dive right in with this. Starting off with the pre-show. You have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Not a big fan of this. It's kind of a bunch of who gives a shit stars that they throw together. The only interesting thing is the outcome. So you have a lot of the, lower mid-card and low-card guys. You've got Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, you've got Goldust, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler in here, Carl Anderson, Gallows, The Revival, Gable Benjamin. So everybody's getting tossed over the rope, typical battle royal, and then you finally get down to three guys. Baron Corbin, year before last winner, Mojo Rawley, last year's winner, and Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, of course, he's taking on both guys until Bray Wyatt just pops up. Now, he's not a part of the match. He just enters himself into the match. And Bray Wyatt starts to attack, I want to say Mojo Rawley first. Matt Hardy throws him out, and then they get rid of Baron Corbin. And there was a little delay on the bell ringing because Bray Wyatt was still in the ring, and I guess the dude wasn't sure, but match ends. Matt Hardy wins, of course, and Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy kind of shake hands, hug, and then they kind of pose in the ring. So now it looks like you've got this new alliance with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. So they had a cool ending to a who gives a shit match. I thought they did as good as they could with the ending for a match like that. It was not bad at all. After that, you get the Cruiserweight Championship match between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. Of course, this is going to be high-flying, a lot of action, getting people pumped up, and it delivered. I think these guys pulled off some really great moves. I feel like it's tough to follow the Cruiserweights because they're so fucking athletic. And they have so many wow moments. Later on, the matches are more telling a story and they're getting involved in the psyche. These are just wow moments. And I think, honestly, the crowd gravitates toward that a lot of times. So they pulled off a good match. And at the end of the day, Cedric Alexander is the new Cruiserweight champion. I don't really watch 205 Live, because there's not really as much investment. So it was a cool match. I mean, that's as much as I can say. As far as the storyline, they were friends apparently, and they showed a lot of mutual respect at the end of the match. So pretty cool for what it was. And then you come to the last match on the pre-show, which was the Women's Battle Royal. Again, this was something that I felt like it's just a bunch of people thrown together and not much as far as stakes. The Battle Royals, I feel like people really don't care too much about. And the thing about this in particular is that you have some really good female wrestlers that are being wasted on a battle royal. Sasha Banks, Bayley, you have the whole of Absolution in there. So it was something that I don't know, I wasn't feeling. Everybody was booing their ass off when Becky Lynch got eliminated. And of course, it finally comes down to Sasha Banks and Bayley, and there's been this whole bit about how they've had this feud going for a while. And so Sasha Banks goes to shake Bayley's hand. Bayley shakes her hand, then grabs her and throws her over the top rope. Looks like Bayley had won, but Naomi had not been eliminated. She came from under the bottom rope and eliminated Bayley, so Naomi wins. I thought it was a nice curveball. At the end of the day, I don't know that I cared about a lot. Naomi is certainly super talented, so I guess she's, deserving of it for sure. But, it wasn't a big impact. So then we get into the main card. They start with the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. And the one thing I take away from this right away, I've talked about how Finn Balor has this demon gimmick that he doesn't really use at all. And now it's like he really doesn't use it at all. Like he didn't even use it for WrestleMania. And I think that's a fucking waste. You have such an iconic entrance and you don't use it on the grandest stage of them all. That's laziness to me. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit what you're trying to plug or, that you're supporting something. This is entertainment and you're not using one of the greatest gimmicks in WWE. When you push, this equality thing over the actual entertainment value that you're supposed to have for WrestleMania, you fucked up. That's the first thing I took away from this. I didn't like that. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm fully supporting what he's doing. I don't give a shit who's fucking who. If you can pull off a great match or you can be a good entertainer, you deserve a spot. So I'm all for equality. But when it comes to WrestleMania, be fucking entertaining first. So that's what I have to say about that entrance that I really was disappointed on. The match itself was good. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, anytime you put those two in a ring, it's going to be good. The Miz, he's not as athletically gifted as the other two, but he was trying his heart out. He, stretched himself a little bit. I give him all the credit in the world. Really good match. Really cool spots all the way around. A lot of top rope, flips and Miz did kind of like a bulldog from the top rope. And like I said, he's not as athletically gifted as the other two. He tried though. He was trying to work with what he was able to do. But it was really good. And of course, you're going to have a new Intercontinental Champion. I didn't expect anything different. I called that as soon as the match started. And it was Seth Rollins. Which, Seth Rollins, I mean, God knows he's deserving. The guy is absolutely amazing in the ring. He's been able to cut some really good promos. I mean, I feel like he is probably the right choice at this point. I really do. Finn Balor has lost his momentum. He's kind of lost some of his appeal just because of the shtick alone. When he came out with the demon gimmick, everybody was like, holy shit, that's amazing. When he came out at WrestleMania, it was just fucking some guy in a leather coat. I mean, I'm sorry, that's how I feel. He's great in the ring, he really is. He puts on a hell of a performance. But use what you have, man. So from there, you go straight into the Asuka Charlotte SmackDown Women's Championship match. And I was really surprised that they started this one off this early. I thought they were going to save this one for later. Really good match here. Really fucking good match. Charlotte Flair, I feel like she's already a Hall of Famer. She's already had a Hall of Fame career. She really has. She is super talented in the ring. She's damn good at promos. She's good at showing off in the ring too. She's really good at showing her personality. The problem is, Asuka has been built up to be this absolute fucking beast. And they gave the win to Charlotte Flair. I thought that was stupid on so many fucking levels. As far as booking, as far as future booking, it was pointless, it was fucking stupid. I love Charlotte. Like I said, I feel like she's going to be in the Hall of Fame already. But I also believe that being Ric Flair's daughter has had a lot of fucking perks for her. Not the least of which is she wins virtually every pay-per-view event she has. But the thing is, you had Goldberg win his title undefeated. You could have had the female version of Goldberg. All this women's lib and women's fucking equal rights shit that they're doing in the WWE right now. You could have had the first woman to win the championship undefeated and you fucked it up. Not only could you have had that, you could have had her go undefeated with the title until next year's WrestleMania where she faces Ronda Rousey. You fucked that up. I think Charlotte Flair is great. But this was a stupid fucking booking decision. It was. I was really surprised that they went for the quick, cheap, holy shit, Asuka just lost her streak moment, other than what they could have built up with this. It was stupid. It really was stupid. Great match. Take nothing away from the match. Both women absolutely impressed the shit out of me. Charlotte finally gets the figure eight. Asuka taps. I didn't like the end. It's not for me to like. Whatever. It was a great match. Take nothing away from either woman. Big show of respect to each other at the end of the match. I just didn't like how stupid WWE was with the booking on this. I think there was a lot of shit they could have done to build this up even further after WrestleMania, and now it's just squashed because Asuka's streak is gone. I don't get it. So, ref runs down to John Cena, who is in the audience. He said he's going to come as a fan. Well, he's there as a fan. Ref says something to John Cena. John Cena jumps the barricade, goes running up the ramp. After that, you have the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. Championship. You have Bobby Roode versus Rusev versus Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. It was tough for me to even think about a winner for this, and I guess at the end of the day, it was the right call because it was probably the only call in this whole card that was going to get some real heat. They have, a good match. Anytime you have a Fatal 4-Way, it's nice. They're able to keep up the action. You'll have one guy or two guys out. You'll always have some fresh guys or fairly fresh guys in there doing their thing. Rusev, of course, is built up just crazy big. The fans going crazy for him. But at the end, Rusev, I forget if he had somebody in the Accolade or if he had super kicked somebody or what. Randy Orton was on the outside, so I'm guessing he super kicked Bobby Roode, and then Jinder Mahal comes in from behind, hits Rusev with a Colossus and wins. So he's the new United States champion, and I'm not a big fan of Jinder Mahal. I think personally, if you want to go with a heel, Rusev is still a heel even though they're chanting his name. He's so much more over. But I think Jinder Mahal winning would garner the heel heat from the fans because he's like probably the least favorite of everybody in there. And I think that might have been what they were going for. So from there, you have this really goofy backstage segment about Breezango and Mick Foley as a Snickers, you're not you when you're hungry thing, whatever, stupid. And then you go into Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey match. Now you knew they were going to start out with Triple H and Kurt Angle going at it at the beginning of the match. They had a lot of spots where Stephanie McMahon's cheating and, cutting in on the rules, and they're telling the referee, you work for us, and, building up all this heel heat. So, of course, you know, they're going to save the Ronda Rousey finally getting her hands on Stephanie McMahon. Finally, she gets the tag. The place goes fucking crazy. Huge pop for Rousey. And I gotta say, dude, I didn't know what to expect from Ronda Rousey as far as like a WWE wrestler, and it was pretty fucking impressive right off the bat. It really fucking was. This girl is damn good already. I mean, I'm sure she incorporated a lot of what she knows from martial arts and MMA into her style for the ring, but one of the better debuts that I've seen, period. Really just damn good. There were a lot of cool spots in this match. One of the coolest was she actually gets a hold of Triple H. Ronda Rousey and Triple H square off. And there's been this big thing in WWE about, you know, women kind of hitting guys, but the guys don't ever hit the girls anymore. You know, like, that's just not something that happens. And there were actually a couple of parts in this match where, like, there was one scene where Triple H grabs Ronda Rousey and, like, rips her out of the ring, and she lands on the floor outside. But then, of course, Ronda Rousey comes back and, you know, just pummels his ass. And that was a really cool spot where she, like, drops down on Triple H and, like, rolls him up and, like, picks him up on her shoulders. A lot of strength there for Ronda Rousey. Like, that was really cool to see, honestly. It really was. There was a few moments going back and forth outside of the ring where Ronda Rousey's outside and she's going after Stephanie. And it's Kurt Angle and Triple H inside the ring. They're going back and forth. It looks like Triple H is going to get the pin, and then Ronda Rousey comes in and saves that. And the match ends. Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon are back in the ring, and Rousey gets Stephanie McMahon in the armbar, of course, and, you know, Stephanie plays it off like she really gets hurt and taps out really quick. So, I mean, it was what you expected it to be. Ronda Rousey's going to go over, she's going to look tough as hell, and then Stephanie McMahon gets to play the injured boss who is, you know, going to play that off for a while. But it was a lot better than I expected, honestly. I didn't expect this to be a good match. Ronda Rousey really impressed me. Stephanie McMahon, I didn't expect her to, you know, be a great wrestler in there. But thankfully they had so much going on in the match that was not Stephanie McMahon. Even Ronda Rousey and Triple H facing off. Very, very cool. Just absolutely cool. There was one part in particular where, like I said, they're about to square off. Triple H pushes the referee into the corner and taps him and says, "It's all right, I got this." And Ronda Rousey just unloads a flurry of punches. It just looked really cool. It did. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. Then you go to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, which is the New Day versus the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Bludgeon Brothers pretty much dominated the majority of the match. They had some cool spots where the Usos were taking out Rowan. Harper never really got, you know, his ass handed to him that much. So it was almost a squash match, a triple threat squash match where the Bludgeon Brothers dominated. They picked up the win. They're the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It's kind of cool because I do like the Bludgeon Brothers. I hate the fucking name and the gimmick, but I like Harper and Rowan. I think they're very good as a tag team together. They look the part. They do look beastly for sure. So, I'm not hating this. I love the Usos. They've been champions for a long time though, and quite frankly, you've been exchanging the New Day and the Usos for a long time. You needed some fresh meat in there. So I'm not hating the end of this. I'm really not. Like I said, I love the New Day. I love the Usos. They're, you know, great tag teams. But at the end, you know, like I said, you've just been flipping and flopping championships between those two teams and nobody else really a real threat. So I liked that the Bludgeon Brothers got this. After that, you have John Cena comes out. You know, everybody's expecting The Undertaker. And he doesn't show up, so Elias walks out. The lights go out, crowd pops huge for The Undertaker, and it's Elias. And of course, they're booing like crazy. John Cena just waves them off, walks back to where he was seated outside in the audience. And then Elias is talking smack about John Cena. So Cena runs back in, drops Elias, hits him with the AA, kicks him out of the ring, kicks the guitar out. John Cena starts walking up the ramp. And they're like, so, well, I guess that was his WrestleMania moment. The lights go out, and of course the place explodes. The Undertaker actually comes out. And I gotta say, they did everything just right with this. The Undertaker, he's like 53, 54 years old. He doesn't have the winning that he used to. So he doesn't need a long match because it's not going to go over well. It's just not. They did everything right. They had the stupid bit with Elias. They had him get his ass kicked by Cena. It looked like the Undertaker really wasn't going to come. And then the lights hit because you kind of figured, you know, even then, it was like, all right, he has to show up. And it was a fairly short match. And thank God for that because the Undertaker looked really, really strong. He really did. He's in there. He's throwing fists of fury. He's running around like he's still in his 20s. It was a very fast-paced match for him. Hits Cena with the tombstone. Undertaker wins. So when you kept it at that length for the Undertaker, it just made him look strong. It made him go out with a bang. And if this is his last match, which I hope it is, they did everything right. So that's how I feel about that. I think that, you know, they did everything exactly the way it should have been done. I was very uninterested in this match from the get-go. I didn't like the idea of John Cena versus Undertaker. And it was mainly an age thing. I've seen his last few matches where the Undertaker gets very winded and it just looks rough. You know, it's just not the same guy. This made him look strong. So I like the way they did that. Then you go into the tag team match with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Right off the bat, as soon as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' music hits for them to come down the ramp, they actually jump in the ring from the other side. They attack Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon from behind, powerbomb Daniel Bryan on the ring apron again. Daniel Bryan looks like he's out of commission. They're bringing down a stretcher for Bryan. They're playing off Shane McMahon's stomach issues and how he's in there going toe-to-toe with his stomach issues, and eventually that catches up to him and they, you know, go to just kicking him in the stomach for 20 minutes. And then finally Shane McMahon gets a tag to Daniel Bryan. The place goes crazy. Daniel Bryan, you know, what can you say? He's just great. He is a great performer in the ring. So, yeah, the match goes really great. I mean, you got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon. It's bound to be a good match. It just is. And it was. You know, Shane did his coast-to-coast thing. Daniel Bryan did the Spanish Fly. He did a lot of really cool moves. The head scissors from the top rope. Just really, really fun to see that again. And of course, Bryan gets hit with a haluva kick, kicks out, gets hit with a pop-up powerbomb, kicks out. Finally, he hits his knee strike, and Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon win. Of course, you can't, I mean, that's like the ultimate underdog story. You can't have Daniel Bryan not win. So more than likely, Raw is going to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn now, since they were both banned from SmackDown. I'm quite sure that's how that's going to work. Then comes the one part of the night that I really didn't like at all. The Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss comes down. She's got this really cool entrance. Mickie James comes down with her. Nia Jax comes down, and instead of starting the match with Alexa Bliss, goes to attack Mickie James so she doesn't have to worry about Mickie James. And immediately, right off the bat, I always talk about how sloppy and dangerous Nia Jax is. And this was no fucking different. She was completely sloppy with the way she was throwing Mickie James around. It pissed me off to watch. Because here's the thing, guys. It's one thing to have somebody control your body and fling you around so you can control your movements. She's just being flung around haphazardly. One of these days, Nia Jax is going to injure a very good star because she's sloppy. And when that happens, I'm just going to look around and say, I told you so. She has dropped Charlotte Flair on her head, landed wrong on Asuka's legs. There's so many people that she has come very close to injuring. And it's by sheer luck that no one's been really injured by Nia Jax yet. So the match starts with Nia and Alexa. It was a decent match for what it was. There were still parts in the match where Nia Jax was, very haphazardly throwing Alexa Bliss around. And actually, there was a spot in this match where she's got her pressed up and then just flings her forward. No control, no nothing. Alexa landed awkwardly as shit. Even Corey said something about that. And, so now you have Alexa Bliss almost gets injured because of Nia Jax. So there's 4 people that I've named right off the bat. I'm not a fan of Nia Jax at all. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing personal about it. She's just sloppy in the ring. Fucking sloppy. And I don't like it. She's going to hurt somebody. You need to have more care for the people you're wrestling with. And it does piss me off. I don't care if it was any other girl or any dude on that roster. These people depend on the people they're working with to make sure they stay healthy. So Nia Jax gets the win, gets the title, makes me sick. Alexa Bliss is far better than Nia Jax could ever hope of being. On the mic, in the ring, it doesn't matter. The only reason I feel like Nia Jax is in the spot she's in is because she's the fucking Rock's cousin. I honestly believe that, because she goes outside, she hugs The Rock's mom and his daughter, I guess. I don't give a fuck who she's related to. I don't want to see her as champion because she's dangerous. It pisses me off. It does. Vince McMahon will always have this monster fetish of these really big guys and girls that just look like they're, the immovable force. But they can't move. She gets winded. She's always out of place. And when she gets winded, she gets sloppy. She can't hold people properly, and stupid shit happens in the ring. Like dropping Flair on her head. So the fact that she's the women's champion now, I don't like it. At all. So that was easily the downfall of the night for me. That was the worst part of the whole WrestleMania card. Then you have Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. I was really surprised that they didn't save this for the last match. But I guess, honestly, it was a good thing because on paper, this should have stolen the show, but to me it really didn't. Now, it was a good match. Good. Not great. It was a good match. Very hard-hitting, very technical at times. Really good wrestlers match. At the end, AJ Styles wins, and the biggest part of this match was the end. Nakamura looked like he was going to be very generous, and he takes the WWE Championship, gets on a knee, hands it to AJ. AJ holds up the belt, and he's like, these guys are, were hugging just a second ago. And then Nakamura hits AJ with a low blow, throws him out of the ring, and then hits AJ with a Kinshasa. So, nice heel turn for Nakamura. I was kind of surprised by the match, by Nakamura not going over, because I thought for sure they were going to have him. But AJ, I mean, it's fucking AJ Styles. He's the best that's ever been, quite frankly, in my mind, as far as in-ring performance. I love Shawn Michaels, but AJ's kind of a freak of nature in a lot of ways. There's so much that guy can do. Like, especially if you watched his early matches, oh my god, the guy is just, they broke the mold with him for sure. So I'm not sad about that at all. And the heel turn with Nakamura was kind of a cool way to end the match. And then you have Sheamus and Cesaro. They come out on a New Orleans float. That was really funny. And they're getting ready for their match. Braun Strowman comes out. He's like, I'm going to pick somebody from the audience. So Braun Strowman's walking around and literally picks a kid out of the audience to walk up, stand on the apron. And it's funny because Braun's like, just go stand on the apron, I'll take care of everything else. And he does. Of course, you know they're going to have him go beast. So Braun Strowman wins the tag team titles with some kid named Nicholas from the crowd. That was really funny. That was entertaining for sure. And then you go to the last match of the night, which I thought was going to be another clusterfuck. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Everybody thought, Brock Lesnar's leaving, blah, blah, blah. They're definitely going to give the title to Roman Reigns. Crowd's already booing him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, I did not hate this match. There were a lot of people in the crowd chanting boring because they just everybody was convinced Roman Reigns was going to get over and get the win on Lesnar. And they were giving the match a lot of hate. But the truth is, I didn't hate the match. I thought it was actually really entertaining. I really did. I thought Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar brought their A game. They had some really good spots. Roman Reigns' charge on Lesnar outside of the ring where they both hit the announce table. I thought that was good. There was a lot of good back and forth. Brock Lesnar hit the F5 probably like 5 or 6 times. And Roman Reigns is kicking out every time. And the crowd is really getting pissed. Because now we're sure Roman Reigns is going to get over. So finally, Brock Lesnar takes off his gloves and he fucking elbows Roman Reigns in the head and just gashes him bad. And I mean gashes him bad. Stone cold bleeding after the Bret Hart match wasn't shit compared to the leaking that Roman Reigns was doing. I'm telling you, man, his face was truly a crimson mass. You saw way more blood than you did skin on that man. Oh my God, he got opened up bad. So I give Roman Reigns all the fucking credit in the world. He took that shot. You could tell it rocked him too. But after that, Roman Reigns, sees the blood, and then the animal instinct comes out, supposedly. He starts spearing the shit out of Lesnar. And then Lesnar catches him on a final attempt at a spear, hits him with another F5, and Brock Lesnar goes over. Still the champion. Which made everybody pop because everybody thought Roman Reigns was going to win. So I thought it was really smart booking at some parts of this card. I really think that a lot of this pay-per-view was done very, very well. Overall. Overall, it was a very good pay-per-view. I mean, WrestleMania, it's the biggest show of the year. It was a fucking bloated card. But it was a good one. It really was. Like, I feel like... I don't know. Compared to some of the others, I don't know how I feel about it. But... damn, it was entertaining. And like I said, after NXT TakeOver, like, there was so many unbelievably great matches there. I didn't think that they were going to be able to top it, but I honestly feel like they did. Because the one thing that WWE has over NXT is the story. NXT has good matches. WWE this time had good matches, but they also had story-driven matches. And that's what separated it for me. So, I mean, to rate this, it's high. It's really high for me. Wasn't perfect. I didn't like Nia Jax, but that's a personal thing. It's personal because I don't like how dangerous she is. I don't think that I agree with them putting Flair over Asuka. But it was still a great match, Flair and Asuka. So, I mean, trying to take my personal opinion out, I'd have to give this about a 9 out of 10. I really felt that strongly about this one. It was fucking good from beginning to end. Was it great at points? Not necessarily. But there were a lot of great things that they did do. Seth Rollins, it was a good match, and I liked the winner. Great match between Flair and Asuka. United States Championship was decent. I mean, you know, that was probably the low part as far as actual matches. Well, no, Nia Jax is the low point, but, I mean, that would probably be the second low point. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, that was really well done. Bludgeon Brothers, I wasn't hating that. They had some really good spots. Cena, Undertaker did exactly everything like they should have done. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, I feel like they did everything there probably as good as they could have done, especially with the jumping both of them at the beginning. I clearly didn't like the Nia Jax match, but, you know, whatever. AJ Styles, Nakamura, it was a good match for sure. AJ Styles winning, okay, that was good. Nakamura heel turn, that was better. The whole Braun Strowman finding a kid out of the audience, that was great. And then the ending was unexpectedly good. So I really, yeah, I mean, I would say 9 out of 10 at least. I mean, I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because it wasn't perfect, but it was very, very good. It really was. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts on WrestleMania. I thought it was a very good show. I was highly entertained for 7 hours. So I can't wait to see what they do with Monday Night Raw tonight. It sucks that Asuka's not going to have her streak now, but, you know, whatever. So, if you enjoyed the review, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Feel free to leave any comments about the show. This is Kevin Jackwitz with the Cage Nation. Cage Nation out.